Hello, I'm Dr. Tom, and I'd like to begin this Friday update with a couple of announcements. First of all, I'd like for you to be on the lookout for your initial member development series. This is something that we intend to have out to you in the month of March, so be sure and watch your emails. Look for this information. Again, it is another free benefit that we are adding to your membership each month. So be on the lookout for that. Next, I wanted to remind you about the Leadership Showcase. This past Sunday, we had Sifu Stefan Patenaude do a Facebook Live presentation, which was viewed by hundreds of people and shared with thousands of people since last Sunday. So we're very excited with that information that Sifu Stefan was able to share and his incredible ability to tie his particular discipline to so many of the Zen principles so that it is relatable to everyone. If you did not see it, be sure and go on the website and find that so that you can share in that excitement that's happening. Of course, there is another Patenaude Performance Retreat coming up the end of May. So again, you can register on the website for that particular event as well. So be sure and look that up. Next, I wanted to talk about members sponsoring members, because that is continuing. New members sponsoring new members. What a great gift. What a great way to show, and what a great way while you're in the moment, being in the moment, and while you're in the moment of that excitement to join a new club, to begin to expand your horizons, to begin to learn, to gain knowledge, to begin to share with like-minded individuals, and then in that moment, your excitement spills over to others. That's exactly how this club grows. And congratulations to all of the new members who are joining. Of course, that sponsoring incentive that we had until March the 15th, midnight Central Standard Time. Make sure if you have a moment, get those last few people in. We look forward to meeting them and joining and having them join the club and embracing them into our membership. I'd like to share, I've been talking a little bit about unconscious competence and how people make changes in 2019. And I'd like to share just a short story with you, if I could, about what happened to me this week. I was teaching and training over the weekend, and so I was unable to join the Facebook Live call with Stefan. So I was looking it up later, going to make sure that I learn and I grow and I learn from the information that we share inside this club. And so I was on Facebook looking for the recording so that I could see that, so I could watch it. And I did, and I found that. And while I was on that, while I was looking for that, there was a little ad that popped up there. And it had a picture of Wayne Dyer that popped up on there, and it instantly took me in my brain back to a time a few years ago when we were teaching a mastery seminar in Phoenix, and Wayne happened to be in Phoenix at the same time, and my family has known him for a number of years, and he contacted us and came over to have Dad work on him. He was having a particular health challenge at that time, and so Dr. Morter worked on Wayne, and Wayne, in all of his grace and gratitude, what a spectacular human being, agreed to share a few words with the Mastery group, as you would expect. And he has a number of quotes that he's become famous for. And he made a particular comment or quote and talked about, I want to make sure that I get this right. He said, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And it was so aligned with principles that we have in Zen. And this concept has been mentioned by lots of different people and lots of different quotes and through the years. If you want things in your life to change, you have to change things in your life. And if you desire for things to change in your life, you must change things in your life. There are a number of different takes on the basic concept that if your intention is to have something different in your future than is in your present or past, then you must do something different in your present in order to alter your future. It's a concept that is world-renowned and shared in lots of languages and lots of different phrases. And the interesting thing was that it triggered these things in my brain and got me to thinking about some quotes that he has and the concepts and the sharing that Wayne did with humanity. And so I'm sitting at my desk and there's like this force. I know for some of you this may sound strange, but for others, you'll get it. It was like this force came and grabbed my head and turned it over to the bookcase that you see behind me. And down on this end of the bookcase, there are thousands of books here. And down on this end are more of the paperback books. And it was like my head was forcefully turned to a particular, now understand, I sit at this desk every day. I had not ever noticed this book before, to my knowledge. I'd probably seen it in my periphery. It was off my radar until Wednesday of this week, as I was beginning to put together my thoughts for this filming. And the book that I was drawn to, it was like this book almost moved off of the shelf. The spine of it was this. Just a coincidence, probably. The Power of Intention by Dr. Wayne Dyer. And you know, if there's one thing I've learned in my life, in my training, and through the Jinn training, is learn to listen. Learn to listen to your gut. And those little hints that you receive, pay attention to them. When the universe speaks, listen. Have some quiet time in your life when you have the ability to listen. Meditate. Do breathing exercises. Do a mortar march. Do some tapping. Do Mary Miller's cards. Do something that gives you some silence so you can listen to the universe. And so I got up out of my chair because I've learned to listen. And I went over and I pulled this book from the bookshelves behind me. And as I often do when I select a book or I'm told to go look at a book, I'll kind of flip through it like this to see what my father, because this is my father's our father's library, and I'd flip through them to see what he highlighted and what was exciting. You know, what was he thinking to put myself in that mindset, in that space. And I didn't see anything as I flipped through there. I thought, that's odd. And then I had the thought, well, you know, sometimes people would send him 2 or 3 or 4 copies. Different people would send him copies of the same book. And so maybe he read a different one. And before I went back to the wall and started looking again, I thought, you know, it was just so unusual for him to not take notes. And then I turned to the back page. And the reason that I didn't see it is because in this particular instance, he had written in pencil the page numbers, which was a very common trait of his for his book reviews. And so the first page that came up was at 215. And so I thought, well, I'll just flip to that and see what it's about. And it says, "It is my intention." Remember, the book is The Power of Intention. "It is my intention to," and then the different chapters, this is chapter 13, "to optimize my capacity to heal and be healed." And I thought, wow. To optimize my capacity to heal and to be healed. And it goes on to talk about how before you can heal others, which was what my father was all about, you have to heal yourself. It's the same concept we've been talking about in Jinn over the past year, is who am I? Because once you know who you are, you can begin to share that with others. And that was one of the messages that, to see books talked about by David Hawkins and by Valerie Hunt, people that we've quoted and known and researched and studied and shared for years, and they're all in this particular chapter of this particular book. And the lesson for me was to listen and to pay attention. We're given a number of signs, and so as I was putting the book down, I turned it the other way and flipped back through it, and I saw that there was one spot that actually was highlighted. And I put a note on here to mark it, but there was one spot that did have a highlighter that went across it. And so I thought I'd share that with you. Because it talks about the way to establish a relationship with Spirit and to access the power of this creating principle is to continuously contemplate yourself as being surrounded by the conditions you wish to produce. To continuously contemplate yourself as being surrounded by the conditions you wish to produce. That's right out of being in the moment. It's the as-if principle. It's picturing it as if. It's Be Where You're At, Boy, from Ed. It's the way in which you connect to spirit, to source, whatever your reference point is there, to move forward. What do you intend to do? What are your intentions for 2019? It reminded me of one other quote that I wanted to share you with him. It says there, it's never too late to have a happy childhood. When Wayne said, it's never too late to have a happy childhood. Just how do you see it? How do you perceive it? What did you learn? And you can apply that principle to so many things. It's never too late to have a happy relationship. It's never too late to have a happy marriage. It's never too late to have a happy job. It's never too late to be happy. Be happy now. Another core tenet inside this club. You see, that is our desire, and that is our goal, and that's what Blaine and Dr. Ted and I work on a weekly basis for you, is how can we provide an environment where you can be happy now? And as the week progressed for me, it was interesting because Anna sent me a quote, just sent me a text out of the air. She didn't know what my topic was going to be this week, and it says, what you are thinking is what you are becoming. A quote attributed to Muhammad Ali. You see, I listen. These things are not coincidence. They're not arbitrary pieces of information the universe shares. It's always out there. Some of the quotes from these gentlemen have already passed. That doesn't mean they can't still speak to us through their works. And it doesn't mean that you cannot still speak to people for generations to come. It's one of the goals we have in this club is what is our legacy? What are we going to leave behind? How can we leave a system, a success mastery course? How can we leave a system that is the easiest way that most people who desire to can learn, can change? You see, change is a choice. It's your choice. What are you going to change in 2019? What changes, what choices are you going to make in this year that will make your future different than your past? Can you make those choices to align yourself with your life purpose, the reason why you're here on this planet? I hope so. It's our intention to give you every opportunity to accomplish that in your life. What are you going to change in 2019? I hope it's big. I hope you become more. I hope you imagine more. And I hope you grow more in the year of 2019. That is our intention. Until next week, I'm Dr. Tom. Have a fabulous week.